I was like, man, this shit is trash. And he was like, man, I'm going to have the whole world saying about it. Just watch. He laughed and said, okay, just watch. So by the time I got back to Kansas City, he was right.
I'm going to give them what they want. She going to give me what I want. I'm going to give them what they want.
What's up, y'all? I'm your boy Snow from the What They Want podcast. Y'all like these t-shirts? We got some new merch in. We got this. We got mugs. We got tote bags. Make sure y'all tap in. If you're liking the episodes, comment, share, subscribe. But hey, make sure you tap in, SlaboArts.com. All right, y'all. Welcome back to the What They Want podcast. I'm your boy Snow, dannySLAB. And we're back again with another episode. Big exclusive.
Big.
Yeah, for sure.
Big.
Killing all the platforms. Y'all may know him as Bigcourt. Being from Kansas City, I know him as Court Dog.
That's a fact.
But y'all may know him as Bigcourt. He's got, the accolades is crazy alone, from Tubi to Fox. The list can go on, from No Limit.
Yeah.
All that stuff, man. But this is Bigcourt. He also has Holdin Court podcast.
Yeah.
Without further ado, it's Bigcourt.
What's good? What's up, fellas? Thank you for having me.
Yeah, for sure, man.
Making it, yeah.
Yeah, for sure, man. You know, I support the hometown talent. You know what I mean? So I love, what our city's doing right now, where it's at. Everybody's creating, getting out there, being seen, and being accounted for. So I love it. I love it.
Man, you gotta show off that chain a little bit, man. Like that chain, you hiding it.
It's a little bit of something.
A little bit of something.
Yeah, I actually, it's funny, man. I'm gonna be real with y'all. I don't even wear shit like this. This is only when I have to be on. You know what I mean? I don't wear jewelry. I've never been a jewelry dude. You know what I mean? It's just when I have to be Bigcourt. You know what I mean? So yeah.
I almost wore my little chain in, but I was like, I'm good.
I figured I'd wear it because I'm fresh off the Essence Fest. And, shout out to Big Bro P. We was down there doing our thing for his farewell show. So, just in the name of, No Limit's a brotherhood. You know what I mean? So it's I've been knowing P 30 years, so it's more of a brotherhood. So I just felt festive for the spirit of No Limit today.
Well, I appreciate you wearing it, dog.
Yeah, because, man, that damn thing is shining.
I appreciate it.
You got something that cool, you got to show it off, man, for real,
Yeah, because the chain I was going to wear, man, was like some things I made off of a 3D printer, you know what I'm saying?
Still cool,
but that's all good. That's all good. You know what I mean? Yeah, people, it's so funny because people make a big thing about celebrities wearing fake or real jewelry. I don't care, man.
Or if it's rented or whatever.
Who cares?
It's all
cool. For me, it all just it's for show. It accentuates whatever you wearing or the event or whatever. You know what I mean?
You're playing a role or archetype of a certain role. So whatever you are, if
you
you're
get it.
Machine Gun Kelly, you're going to wear this type of jewelry. If you're
you get it.
Yeah,
you get it.
And you're a big chorus, so you can wear No Limit all day long.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
Exactly. So, and I still have the square tank from the 90s. I still have my gold square tank. Yeah,
man, that's cool.
That's actually you literally running right into this, man. I know you already spoke about it before. Did Snoop make that logo?
This logo?
Yes, that logo for the No Limit.
I think I know. I think I heard that. He did he?
Well, he said it. You said it on a pod.
He may have.
Because you said he made the newer logo, but the old box one.
Okay, so I think you are correct. So, true story. Right hand to God. So this is No Limit Forever, right? So I was the vice president for No Limit Forever, which we relaunched in, I think it was 14.
Yes.
So it went from No Limit to New No Limit, and then No Limit Forever. I actually named it No Limit Forever. I convinced P to call it No Limit Forever. But I think you are correct. I think Snoop did help design it. Yeah.
Well, it's a good name because Forever creates the
longevity.
The dynasty.
I convinced P to come back to music, and this was about 13, 14. I convinced him. I was like, man, I think we got one more run, bro. Let's try it. And this is where we had a lot of our Atlanta. It was New Orleans and Atlanta crew. We had Benji B, we had TEC. Main Music. We had Miss Chi. A lot of people from Atlanta too. Ki, Gangsta, And so play Beezy. So I was like, man, let's do it. So he flew everybody out to LA. We had an office, big old compound out there. And, that was my hands-on experience on the executive side of No Limit. But yeah, he listened to me, and we named it No Limit Forever. But yes, I believe Snoop did design this. Yeah.
Yeah, well, I mean, that's what I was looking at. I was like, oh. But yeah. So for the people that don't know you, you know what I'm saying, go a little bit into your background, because you're speaking about Master P, No Limit. You are obviously signed to him. You know what I'm saying? But, I mean, to the viewers and stuff like that may not know, you're from the ground. You're from the soil, from the
I am.
KC, to the
born
people
and
that don't know.
Yeah, so I'm from Kansas City, Missouri, born and raised, 64130. I'm from the 4 block, 42nd and Chestnut, the 40s. I'm second generation. My mother grew up in the house that I grew up in. We own that house since the 50s, and we still own the house to this day. So it's a community over there. A lot of those families, those houses have been passed down, and those families been over there 50, 60 years. I went to Henry C. Kumpf. I'm a Kumpf kid on 44th and Wabash. I like to put that out there, because I think a lot of times where, people meet, they see me on social media and they discover me and they're like, okay, bigcourt. And as you said, they don't know Court Dog. But a lot of people see, the almost 50-year version of me, polished and, speaking well.
Dapper,
and
you got the swag down
and
now.
they forget. I think some people forget I am from 64130.
You go there.
You know what I mean? I went to Nowlin Middle, graduated from Northeast.
Right.
This was the late 80s, and they started the magnet program in the city. So they started busing inner city kids out to these schools. Which was crazy, because they sent all the hood to Nowlin. Nowlin was in Independence, but it was like 85% black, and everybody being bussed in, you know what I mean? Which, it was cool, because that was the first time that I had ever kind of experienced other ethnicities. I had never been around white people before that. Honestly, I had never really, you know what I mean? It was my first time. And even going to Northeast, it was my first time being around Mexicans, So, that's just how segregated kind of, Kansas City was. And we talking in the late 80s, early 90s. And so I got into music. I wrote my first rap in like 89. I was like 13, I believe. And it was in the cadence of Eazy-E. I used to, everything I wrote sounded like Eazy-E, right?
Makes sense. Boy, 80s.
Real talk. And so, but I think a lot of that came because I was always creative. I was an artist. I could write, I could draw, I could paint. And so I used to write my mother poems. So I think with the influence of hip hop, it transitioned right over to there.
Creations just started.
Exactly. So in the early 90s, so I used to go to LA sometime in the summers. I had an aunt and a cousin that lived out there. And so me and my mother went out there. I got back on the first day of school. I didn't know where I was going to school. Because back then they would mail this shit to you, and it tell you you're going where you were going.
Right. You wait for the mail.
Exactly.
The end of that shit.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
You're right. Dang, I got this school right. You're calling your friend. Where'd you go?
So you beat me to it.
Right.
So I get back on the first day, and I missed the first day of school, and I open it up because I'm excited to see where I'm going. It said Lincoln Prep. I was like, where the fuck is that? I don't even know what that is. You know what I mean?
Right.
So I'm twiddling my finger. Can't wait, because, this wasn't cell phones. This is like 89, right? No, this is 90. So I'm waiting on my friends to get home. I'm waiting for 3:30, and I'm calling, man, where you go?
Right.
Man, I'm in East. Man, I'm in Northeast. It was like, where are you going? I said, Lincoln. You ever heard of that? So,
I mean,
you got checked with them, like,
so come to find out, I used to score. I always excelled academically, so I used to score high. Remember them fucking standardized tests?
Yeah, fill out the
bubbles and shit. Yeah. So I used to score really high on those. So for whatever reason, I guess they thought I was smart, and so they placed me in fucking Lincoln Prep. So, but that was a good thing, because that's where I met my partner that I rap with and created the group CCG, Cisco. So that's where the rap we started taking it serious. I met him at Lincoln. We both got kicked out our freshman years. We both got kicked out, right?
He said, "Fuck Lincoln."
Yeah, real talk. Man, I couldn't wait for the end of the year. I wanted to go to Northeast with the rest of my friends. So, because I wasn't in school to learn. I was in school to, cause chaos and bullshit and mess with girls.
Most of us were.
Yeah, I didn't give a fuck about learning. You know what I mean? And so, the funny thing is, Lincoln, it's Lincoln College Prep, right? So, they're in there to learn. And those 100%. Kids are good kids.
It's like almost semi-accelerated school.
And I hated that shit. So when I finally got to Northeast, my sophomore year, they got metal detectors. I'm like, yes,
Other people going crazy
too. Metal detectors and, gangbangers. My mind was fucked up back then, right?
But that's the life. That's the shit you were seeing.
That's the shit I was in. And I was fresh out of jail. I had went to jail right after getting kicked out of Lincoln. So when I started at Northeast, kind of toward the middle of the year, I was on house arrest. Okay. And so that's when I really started taking the music serious, because then I found out I had a child on the way. So I'm 15 with a child on the way. So the sense of urgency really started kicking me in the ass to figure something out. I stopped doing all the crash out shit, because that's what I was on back then. I used to run with Southside Posse in the early 90s. I don't know if y'all remember that. SSP, you know what I mean? So they were
Money G and all that.
Yes, Money G. Absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah, exactly. You know. So before, Southside Posse was known for music, they was known for other shit. You know what I'm saying? And so, even though I'm from the 40s, that's kind of where I jumped off the porch with them into the bullshit. So, and Money G inspired me a lot. He's only maybe a year or two older than me, but he was so much more advanced musically. And before Southside Posse, they had a group called PICO, Partners in a Criminal Organization. And this was with Dank Nitty. It was Dank Nitty, Felony 6, Money G, and it might have been one or two others, but on record, they were the first people in Kansas City actually gang banging on record. This was, so DJ Quick kind of gets that accolade with his his mixtape from like 87, 88 in terms of banging on wax. Then Crips and Bloods did it, but Money G and them, they was on that. They was saying names of people. They was calling Bloods the S word. They was super disrespectful,
Right.
And man, this was 90. And it was a blue tape on top of that. It was the blue tape. And so that just inspired the fuck out of me, right? And so it made, and then seeing Vell Bakardy. Shout out to Vell Bakardy. Vell Bakardy was the first rapper from Kansas City to get a major deal. He was on Deaf America with Rick Rubin. And so seeing him on Yo MTV Raps, and him being from 39th Street from Holy Temple, that made it real. Like, oh shit, this is something viable. He's from right up the street, and this nigga's on Yo MTV Raps. So all of those things at that time really kind of put the battery in my back to kind of focus on it, and said that it could be a possibility. So, and you got to think, this is a time where it wasn't much industry here. It wasn't like now. It wasn't a lot of reference points or people you could talk to about what to do and what not to do or how to get on. Right. It was a handful of rappers back then. It wasn't like now everybody's a fucking rapper, right? But no, it was a very different climate back then. So, yeah.
Yeah, but like saying that though, you went from, you grew up in the era where there was no internet, there's no phone.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So the thing is, you transitioned the hustler mind state, you know what I'm saying? You transition that stuff, like you sat there and said there's a million rappers now.
Yeah.
There's probably a good handful of 5 that you would even be like, oh, this crossed up and, you found it out. But the thing is like you did that, and then even with where you're at now, you've somehow figured out to get your hand in every single bag and mix it and, build it from there.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm very grateful that, because, it's not lost on me that a lot of kids back in the day, I was blessed. I was raised on love, not survival. So even though I'm in the hood, right, my household is still filled with love and support. I had a mother that doted on me, and she kind of instilled in me early that I could do whatever I wanted to do, So
your core values.
I had
that. You had a real true support system.
I did. And so I was the first grandchild. So I had a whole family that treated me like I was a little prince, So I had that confidence early on, you know. So for me, thinking that I could achieve some type of celebrity or that wasn't out the cards for me, because you know I've been hearing my whole life.
I'm a prince. Like
you feel me?
I'm royalty,
I've been
baby.
hearing my whole life. You can do whatever you want to do. So I'm just like, oh, okay, yeah, that's what I'm gonna do. You know,
right? That looks good. Yeah.
Yeah. So that mixed in with just, you know, a lot of people praying for me too, because I was going the other way as well. You know, so I had one foot in trying to chase my dream, but then the other foot in bullshit.
Wilding out, yeah.
Yeah, and so I always say it's really a lot of people praying for me because I wasn't that prolific of a criminal. I wasn't that smart. You know what I'm saying? Right. You know, because even when I went to jail the first time, I mean, I went to jail for some serious shit, and I was the first juvenile that year that they were going to certify, because they were trying to figure out how to sentence.
A case out of you.
Yeah, they were trying to figure out what to do with juveniles that commit adult crimes.
Right.
Because back then they would like send you to McCune's or something like that, like kid jail. But they were talking about sending me, because normally they would give you what they call juvenile life, and they'll keep you in juvie until you're old enough to go to prison. But with my crimes, they was like, fuck that. You going to prison now. You know what I mean?
Right. No,
and so the way that but what saved me was, well, for one, the case started getting weak against me. And then on top of that, it kind of worked like family court too. So my lawyer, Carl Bussey, he's still a lawyer now to this day. He was instrumental in painting a picture of, okay, it was my first offense. You know, oh, he got mixed up with an older crowd. You know, my mother
painted
was,
right?
Which was not the truth, right? I was the youngest on the case, but a lot of that shit was my idea. You know what I mean?
Right, you're the smart one.
Right. Yeah, a lot of that shit was my idea. You know what I mean? But okay, cool. So, and my mother was having some struggles, and I'm an only child. Mm-hmm. So my dad at the time, I didn't grow up with my dad, but him and my stepmother, you know, they had decent jobs, still in the 40s, just a few blocks away. Okay. So they were like, well, okay, he been in here. I think I was in juvie like 9 months. They was like, well, we're gonna put his ass on house arrest and see what he do, because we pretty sure he gonna fuck up. You know? And so
we'll just give him a little leash to hang himself with, and then we're gonna dunk him. And we're gonna dunk him. Yeah.
So I walked it down, man, and you know, my criminal life didn't stop, but I stopped the crash out shit. Right. I stopped that dumb shit. And so you know, then I'm more focused on, okay, let me build something. What am I gonna do with my life? And at that point, shit, when I graduated, my daughter was 2. You know what I mean? My daughter actually came to my fucking graduation. You know what I'm saying? And that, my daughter, that's my co-host now. Yeah. You know, Rachel Renee. So, you know, we kind of grew up together. So with all of that, it just created this sense of urgency, bro. You know, and that's where, you know, I got with P in '95, and just the ingenuity to be able to try to put that together. And you know, I had to figure out how to. I wasn't focused on getting out this motherfucker, but being successful. You know, I didn't want to be local, to be very honest with you. That wasn't appealing to me. It never has been. And I think sometimes that mentality has rubbed people the wrong way. And I don't mean it in a condescending way. It's just, I always thought, and you know what? And a lot of that probably had to do with the fact that I traveled as a youngster. You know, my grandmother used to take me to Chicago. I was going to L.A.
So you've seen bigger cities.
Okay.
Like,
so the bigger picture. Yeah. So I understood that there was more outside of the city
especially
limits.
At that time.
Don't get me wrong. I mean, it was cool that I just didn't want to do what everybody was doing, putting their shit in the liquor stores and going to 7-Heaven. Right, yeah. I'm vicariously living through the magazines. I'm looking at the Source and XXL and 4080. I'm like, I'm trying to fucking be there. I want a plaque like that.
And at the time, though, you know, I mean, we talked about this before, but like the city didn't really blow up till like 2014 when the Royals started winning. So Kansas City was different. So when you're going to Chicago and Denver and all these bigger cities, it's got a way different vibe.
It does. And we didn't have much industry here. We still on the Bible Belt. Like we were behind a lot in terms of entertainment. You know,
sure.
Yes. So you know, and I don't mean this in a disrespectful way, but some of the local people that did make a stamp, you know, and see, I don't want to come off hypocritical because I love the city, but just to contextualize what I'm saying, it's like, let me not use local. For instance, I'll use someone else. Like, we always had this kinship with West Coast, primarily the Bay Area. You know?
Yeah.
So to Kansas City, somebody like Messy Marv might as well be Drake. Right?
Facts.
They look at Messy Marv.
Or the Jacko.
Or they actually put him above Drake, right? Now, I understand the music part is subjective. I get that part.
Right.
But when we talking about the business of music, no, motherfucker. Them is two different careers. Them is two different trajectories.
Yes, you're right.
But a lot of them don't understand that. So what happens is, I understood it at a young age.
Right.
I love Brother Lynch Hung. You know, I love SIBO, but I knew they were independent. I know they're selling 100, 200,000 units. Great for an independent label, but then I know the difference between them and Nelly. Nelly just went diamond. Okay, I love this, but I want that. You see, so now in order to achieve that, it's going to take different steps. It's not going to be the same steps to achieve that.
Right. You need to alter that path.
Yes.
Damn
you know.
Right.
So this is what made me make different moves. And the flip side of that, it caused me to have a lighter impact locally too. You see?
Because you're not traveling around
because I wasn't putting my focus on here. I wasn't even making music to cater to here. Because I'm like, I see you motherfuckers all the time. You know, I walk out and see you. You see me. You know I do this. So I'm thinking, let's put it on my back and go out into the world. You know, because I always felt like some of the things, you know, like, okay, if we all just stay here and talk to each other, nigga, that's a pep rally. When we gonna go get in the game?
That's a good point.
Imagine, you know, pep rally in high school. Yeah, let's go. Team. Yeah, it's us against them. And then you go to class. You never go play the game. And then you come. So I didn't want to do that. Right? I was like, no, the only way that they're going to know who we are is we get in their fucking face. We got to do that. We got to go out. We have to create something that's going to attract them and shine a light on us. So I always like to say, I put, you know, a lot of times people will turn their back on the world and just talk to KC instead of putting KC on their back and going out into the world.
Yep.
You see what I'm saying? And then the other thing with social media, you know, I say, man, find your people. It may not be Kansas City. They might rock with you in fucking Tucson. You know, they might rock with you in Seattle. Fuck with them. Don't just, you know what I'm saying? And of course, we all want the respect from our hometown, and you want to be recognized, but not to the compromise of your overall goal. You know what I mean? Not to the detriment of that. And one thing I discovered, and y'all let me know if y'all agree with this. There's not one artist, in my opinion, from Kansas City that has both. And what I mean by both, you have to choose. You have to choose. If you want, name one artist that has the support of Kansas City and the rest of the world. It's not one. You have to choose. So you either, so if you think about, if we use Rich the Factor as an example, he's got Kansas City.
Yeah.
It's spotty in the rest of the world.
Yes.
Tech Nine, he got the rest of the world, but it's spotty here. Janelle Monáe, she got the rest of the world, but is she in the conversation here?
Nope.
You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So it's almost like you have to choose. You know,
I never looked at it like that.
Yeah. So it's like, do you want the village or you want the kingdom?
Facts.
You know,
that's crazy.
And that dawned on me just through my years of being in the game, and I'm like, damn, you really, because I was the one that chose the kingdom, so my impact was light here. You know,
true.
Now I watched my peers; they did great. You know, but I watched my peers that was selling CDs hand in hand. They was doing all the local, you know, concerts. They was networking with the local. You know, they was trying to get on the radio.
The whole
and I did that too, but their focus was I want to be the king of KC. So they were a little more impactful because they put more effort into it. Me, I'm getting sound scans from my distributor every Tuesday, excited. Oh shit, I don't even know where this is. I sold 20 units and I don't even know where the fuck that is. Oh shit, I sold 150 in New York today or last week. Right. Oh shit, Fort Lauderdale, they fucking with me. I sold 200 pieces.
Right.
I'm excited about that. I'm not excited about selling
excitement. Right.
I'm not excited about selling 20 out the liquor store. You know what I'm saying?
I think what you're saying with that though too, you know, like you're the vice president of it, but the thing is, Master P, bro, like he literally was like, I'm New Orleans. Yeah. But he took that shit globally.
Yeah, and it's not lost on me, bro, that I thought, like, you know, your vibe attracts your tribe. So it's no accident that me and P became so close because we think alike. But it's not lost on me, man. Listen, I know I had the influence of P early on to reinforce what I already was thinking, so I had a chance to see the inside.
Right.
You know, so it's not lost on me, you know, that I had that experience where maybe some didn't, you know. But I always, you know, dreamed big. It was just in me. It was just innate. It was intrinsic, you know, since a kid. I remember I used to be on my mongoose. I go to 43rd and 43rd and Montgall, right by Friendship Church. And I can remember standing on it was a hill, and it's like you could see out and kind of see the skyline. And I used to just always just wonder, damn, what's beyond that? Like, man, I want to go there. What's beyond there? You know, and that translated into, you know, my other endeavors of just wanting to just really, you know, put the city on, put the, you know, yeah.
That being said, then, man, this is the next question, man. I want to ask you. Mm-hmm. With all that being said, and you want to see cross what's crossed the skyline and then some. Yeah. How do you stay grounded?
Man, that's so easy because I always stay in a space of gratitude. I don't live what I do for a living. It doesn't define me. You know what I mean? Right. All this shit can be gone. And on top of that, I understand the ebbs and flow of business. You know what I'm saying? I've been up, down, and everything in between. You know, so like what I learned, and I tell people, like you have to first kind of do the work to become that. Like everybody want to get rich, right? Thanks. So you have to kind of first become that person to get that, right? Then you have to become another person to maintain it, you know, because keeping it is is two different levels, you know, two different understandings. So with that being said, with no reference point, you know, shit, I done came up, fell off, came up, fell off.
Right, because it's rich versus wealth.
Yes. Like I've never been wealthy. Right. I know the difference. Truth be told, I've never been rich, what I deem rich. I've been nigga rich most of my young life, you know. Now that can be fucked off with some bad habits and a few bad decisions, you know what I'm saying? Real quick. You know, I can make a couple bad decisions, take a loss here, loss there, and be like, oh shit, you know what I'm saying? And, you know, I can I don't want to be crass, but I mean, I can literally show you my bank account right now. I got a couple $1 million in it, but we in 2025. Right. That shit don't go that far.
It's not like having 50 million.
No, that shit don't go that far. Right. You know what I'm saying? Like that, I ain't made it.
The price of living and the price of...
And I live in LA. Bruh, I can, you know, if I don't keep hustling and building, you know what I'm saying? And I invest a lot too. But if I don't, you know, I can't rest on my laurels on that. You know what I'm saying?
We couldn't afford the
inflation,
space in LA. We couldn't afford the space.
You feel what I'm saying?
Yeah, we couldn't.
Like my bills every month, my liabilities every month, not necessarily just my living expenses, but I own a bunch of real estate. I have a lot of responsibility. It's almost $40,000 a month. You know what I mean? Those are my liabilities, my bills every month.
So you need all sorts of main and passive streams to be able to achieve that.
Right. So a lot of it is because it's real estate, it pays for itself. Right. But that's just what I'm on the hook for every month. Right. Right. So that's what I'm saying. But money ain't like what it used to be. You know what I'm saying? Right. Yeah. So it may sound like a lot, you know, but no.
But you own doors and you own square footage. But so
to answer your question, how you stay grounded is understanding that all of that shit can go. You know, you can get sick. You know, your business can shit. I'm an entrepreneur. I lost in 2008 and 2009. See, that's one thing about me. I can.
I remember that time.
Yes, I can share, you know, my triumphs, but I ain't scared to talk about them losses either. You know what I mean? Yeah. Like, I done lost too.
That's true.
Where 1 minute I'm like doing that real estate shit, I'm like, oh man, I'm looking good, just for everything to be upside down. You know, and then you got to short sale some shit. Right. I lost some shit.
That was a big
foreclosure. Hell yeah.
Market. And if you were in that, I feel sorry for you.
Man, I had like 6 properties in Atlanta that I lost. I had a few here that I lost. I had a $1 million house in Encino that I short sold for $600,000 and wound up getting a tax problem because they 1099 me, the deficit, all kind of shit.
What?
Yeah. You know what I'm saying? So I don't be scared to talk about that part either. So
California's done some weird stuff.
So when you say stay grounded, shit, because I know the other side of it. You know what I mean?
Right, of course. Yeah.
I know the other side of it. And, you know, you can't never get, you know, act like, you know, money doesn't exclude you from life and the trials and tribulations of life. You know what I mean? Money doesn't exclude you from life. Right. You know what I'm saying? So
I want to bring this up real quick.
For sure.
Because I think it's crazy, you know, like I was kind of, you know, listening, doing research or whatever. Mm-hmm. Tell me how that phone call was with P to get you signed on No Limit.
So it's a funny story with that. So it was 90, I can't remember. It was 95 or 96. I want to say it might have been 90. I feel like it was 96. Yes, it was 96. Easy died in 95, right?
Yeah. Yes.
Okay, so it was 95. It was 95 because initially we were trying to go to Ruthless.
Right.
And but Easy died, so I had to redirect my energy. So I think it was the summer that I talked to. Yeah. Anyway, so I'm in the bathroom. I'm at my dad's house. My dad's name is Courtney too. True story. I'm not even making it up for comedy. I'm sitting on the toilet. on the toilet.
Yeah.
And so, you know, we didn't have cell phones back then. So I'm just sitting there and the phone rings. Now, because I have sent out so many packages, anytime that phone rings, I'm on that.
Right.
You know what I mean? So it rang. I want to say it rang and I let it go to the answer machine. And then it rang again. So I get up, pants in my ankles, and waddle to the phone. This is a true story. I get up, I waddle to the phone, and I answer it. Hello? And, you know, he's like, yeah, can I speak to Courtney? I didn't recognize the voice. So I say, shit, he not here, because my dad's named Courtney too. So I was like, who calling? And he was like, yeah, this P. So I was kind of like, P? I said, P. And he was said, yeah, this Master P. So I was like, oh. I said, nah, this me. What's up? And so he started laughing, you know, and he was like, what, you on the run? You dodging somebody or something? You owe somebody some money? And I was like, I guess he figured I answered it kind of shady, you know what I mean? Yeah, like, nah, this me. Yeah. Yeah,
right,
but he don't know. My pants is at my ankle. You know what I'm saying? And I'm on the phone talking to him, right? Literally.
You got another weird thing going on.
I never pulled my pants up the whole conversation. So this is a true story. I never pulled my pants up the conversation. I'm talking about I ain't wiped or nothing, right? So this is a true story. And so he's like, man, yeah, I got your tape. You know, like I rock with y'all. You know, what y'all got going on. And so I tell him, man, you know, so I'm like, man, we dope, we this, we ready, you know. So he's like, man, I'm doing a compilation called Down South Hustlers. And he was like, I got UGK, I got A-Ball MJG. And, you know, especially back then, these dudes was on, right? I loved everybody he named. He sold me on that. I was like, I just wanted to be on a record with him, you know?
Right.
And so he was like, all right, man. He was like, well, shit, you know, I'll probably fly y'all out here, get y'all out here, man, and we can do some shit. I was like, all right, cool. So the thing about it was P would call me. So my friends, nobody believed me. I said, man, Master P called me. They're like, man, whatever. I said, no, for real. Like, he calls me on the phone. And it was like,
right, on the phone.
He calls you for real? Yeah, on the phone.
On the phone, yeah.
On the phone.
Not
right. Wow. And so, yeah, cord and everything. Not even a cordless phone, right? So, the thing is, bro, is he used to call me and we would just talk for like an hour each time. And I remember I would tell my homeboys, like, bro, I'd be on the phone with P. He'd be chatting for an hour and a half. We talk. Now, once I got to know him, I understood what he was doing. He was really trying to see where my head was and what I was into and you know, who I was, who he was bringing into his circle, you know. So it was like an interview kind of, you know, but he would also be telling me what they had going on, you know.
Because he's pitching you, too, to see if you're going to sign on because you're going to make him money.
So he flew us out to Oakland. At the time, he was still in Oakland, and we stayed in Hayward. So for a time, we stayed in an apartment with Mia X, Beats by the Pound, and Mr. Servo. He had us all in a little apartment. Yeah. And so he had kind of pushed us to the front. And so we went out there to do the song. We ended up doing an album called 100% Game. If you look on the inside of Down South Hustlers, you see our picture in there coming soon. And that's me in the black hoodie, you know. So we recorded the album. We did the song. It came out. It went gold. And so, but our album never came out on No Limit. So that's why my history with No Limit is interesting, you know, because we were there before they really blew up. So when we hooked up with them, it was during 99 Ways to Die. It was before. I remember hearing Ice Cream Man instrumental when we were out there. I remember, so the first time I heard I'm About It, I remember he played it. I had never heard a bounce record, because About It is a bounce record.
Yeah, for sure.
I had never heard bounce music. That shit sounded so foreign to me. And I remember when I heard it, I heard the unmixed version. And I was like, this shit is bullshit. What is this? What are you saying?
That's a rough mix, yeah.
It was the lingo. It was the about it. I was like, what does that mean?
All about it.
Because you got to think. We're West Coast influence, you know what I'm saying? So we're rapping, we're phonetically enunciating, you know what I'm saying?
You can rap along with what I'm saying.
Yeah. This was just, it was attitude, it was culture, it was, I hadn't been exposed to the New Orleans lingo either. So, I was like, man, this shit is trash. And he was like, man, I'm gonna have the whole world saying I'm about it, just watch. He laughed and said, okay, just watch. So by the time I got back to Kansas City, he was right. He was right.
He was way
TRU, the first TRU True to the Game came out with About It on it.
Yeah,
and that shit blew up.
I bought it.
That shit blew up. That shit blew the fuck up.
Yes, sir.
And then Ice Cream Man followed up, as we know, and he was off, to the races from there. Yeah. And so, I always maintained a relationship with him, even though our album didn't come out. Our album didn't come out just because of kind of internal conflict.
Sure.
My partner that I was with, him and P, didn't get along. They were like oil and water. And at the time, P offered me to go solo. I wasn't confident enough to do that, nor would I had done that, because, I came with him, so I leave with him. You know what I mean?
You take the date you brought.
Yeah, basically. You know what I'm saying? I was true, loyal to my homeboy. So, we come back to Kansas City, and that's when I start putting out independent shit. But with that being said, P still helped me out, use his influence, where that's how I started making money, because the one-stops and the distributors back then would pay me with whatever I shipped. So if I got 10,000, 30,000 units pressed up, they was giving me $7 a CD on delivery. You know what I mean? So, you got to think, I'm 18, 19, 20 years old getting, $250,000 checks. And I was eating, and then I still had street money too. And so that's when I started parlaying into real estate. I bought my first house at 19. Yeah.
Damn.
Yep. So, and then when I moved back to LA, when I moved to LA in 2002, 2003, that's when we connected, because he moved out there in like 2001. So that's when we start, rocking every day again.
Damn, okay.
Yeah.
Damn, that's crazy, man.
Yep.
That's crazy.
I've had an interesting journey, brother.
Yeah. Interesting, man.
Yeah. I've had an interesting
Well, that's why I like the use of gratitude, you know what I mean? Because it's like, our arms and legs working, our fingers working. It's like sometimes just like little things. It's just like,
that's a fact.
We take a lot of just small stuff for granted.
Yeah, you do. Especially when you, I think it's a thing about getting older. I always say you live life long enough to teach you how to live. So, like, I'm 49. Nice. I'm 49. I'm 1 out 50. So, trivial things and what you're able to really ascertain what's trivial and what's of importance. You know what I'm saying?
Facts.
And
True.
you breathe deep. You understand. And again, it ain't like I'm some about to die shit, but you just understand that. Damn, okay, I'm 50 down, and if I'm lucky, and have a quality of life, I might have 30 years left. I've been in LA 23. 30 years ago, I was signing the No Limit, and it went like that. So another one went like that.
Facts.
And shit could be done.
In a blink of an eye, like,
in a blink of an eye.
Like, oh, I'm 50, I'm 40.
And that's contingent upon me being so arrogant to think that I would still be here, because a lot of shit can happen between now and
you
then.
never know.
What I'm saying? Yeah.
All we got now.
That's right.
Yeah.
So it helps you put things in perspective of what's important. That's why I do think everything that I do now in my life, I do out of love. I have a passion for it. Like I tell people, I'm a purpose chaser, not a paper chaser. I've never won at anything that I did just chasing money. I never won, because
that was the end goal.
That was the end goal. I didn't take time to nurture it, because I didn't care about it, or I didn't take the time to understand it. So, at this part of my life, everything that I'm doing, I'm passionate about and I enjoy. I don't do it for money. The money will just come, So that's some shit that you learn. Again, you're talking almost 50, and, I'd be remiss if I didn't acknowledge it. A lot of this comes from making a lot of mistakes. it's not because I did everything right. I did a lot of shit wrong, which is how
how you figure out what is right.
How I figure out what is right.
I feel like, not to cut you off by any means,
go ahead.
but the thing is, I feel like life, man, like if you came through all cherries and everything like that, bro, then you would never grow. The growth comes within the mistakes.
That's a fact. Mm-hmm. That's a fact. As you grow, man, it gets harder. It doesn't get easier. You know what I mean? Because you start
things over, and you got like a recycle, renewal, rebirthing process.
And you take more on, and the more that you have going on, the higher the propensity of things to go wrong. You know what I'm saying? And so you inevitably start becoming a professional problem solver. One of my superpowers is the ability to be uncomfortable.
Huh.
Yeah, the ability to be uncomfortable. I've lived most of my life on the precipice of disaster. Being uncomfortable is a Monday to me. You know what I'm saying? My measure of risk is much different than most people. And because the way I reason with that, my time in the streets. So, when you risking your life and you risking prison and jail time.
Yeah, 'cause you know who you're riding with.
You see what I'm saying? Man, it's so many penitentiary chances I took, right? So, when I start making moves in real estate and different businesses, I'm like, this ain't risk. So what's the worst that could happen?
You lose money.
I lose. So, but nobody's going to come looking for me. I'm not going to go to jail, right? So my measure of risk was something different. This ain't risk. This ain't shit. Because I always look at shit on what if it does happen. See, most people look at, the negative. I look at, no, but what if it works? And that's what I get excited about.
So you're analyzing the factors.
Yeah, exactly. So, at this stage, man, I participate in things that I love. And like the podcast, I believe that that's why it has resonated because, it's something I thoroughly enjoy. Even if it wasn't no money in it, I still do it, So, even when I'm acting, and I like playing the game of business too. So like even with my daughter, she's a tech founder, so and I'm her media partner. So she has an all-in-one e-commerce marketplace that she's launched.
And she's cool with that, yeah.
Yeah, she just raised like another $250,000, you know what I mean? So, I like to play the game of business. I just like to create and then watch it blossom. And which takes me to like what I'm doing with Ice-T. Me and Ice-T have a new TV network called OG Network. It's a fast channel and an OTT platform. And so we'll have we'll have over, 1,000 titles on it, and we'll have like our own tentpole shows, which one of them is the show I have with me and Lazy Bone called Somebody Had to Say It. So that'll be one of our shows that we launch on there. So I'm excited about that. That's a big move right there.
That's a big move.
Yeah.
It's huge.
Yeah, we launching actually this fall. And so to be in business with Ice-T is an honor. And it's funny because it's full circle. Because Ice-T was the first gangster rap record I ever heard, was Squeeze the Trigger, 1987. Really? Mm-hmm. Yep.
Damn.
Yep. And so to
that is gangster. Yeah, you're right. Yeah.
So to fast forward and to be able to be in business with him and create, this platform and I wanted to do it too because, I was inspired to do it by Lemuel Plummer, who owns Zeus, but then also Isaac Hayes III. I had him on my show, and he has fan base, which is, to take over Instagram. You know what I mean? And how he was saying just how minorities, we don't own a lot of the infrastructure that we use. Like a lot of Facebook and these social media platforms is rented real estate. Right. We're at the mercy of their algorithms, you know what I'm saying? Right. They can strip us of our followers, our subscribers, all that shit. So I was like, man, let me create a network. We just have users. You know what I'm saying? It's like Tubi. It's all ad driven. It's ad revenue. So just like Tubi, you get on, you watch your shit, make it simple, user friendly, and we get paid from the ads. No algorithm, none of that dumb shit. So I'm excited about that.
Well, it's pure.
Yeah.
It's a pure way to do it.
Yeah,
I like that.
And also to be in a position of power, man, because that's the only way. Like, I always do things with KC in mind. My last straw was I had a show I developed called 12, and I was this close to getting it greenlit with a network, right? It wasn't their fault. It's bureaucracy. I understand it was an expensive show because it was going to be kind of like Power. And so it took about $750,000 an episode. At 8 episodes, over $5 million. You know what I'm saying? They had a show that they went with that was similar but cheaper to make. I get it, right? But my purpose of creating it was I was going to bring it back to KC. We were going to shoot here, and because Missouri has great tax rebates and incentives for filming.
They want you to have a business there. Missouri definitely is trying to set it up to get you to rent space or do something there. Yeah.
So I wanted to hire people in front of the camera and in back of the camera, you know, and have our city have kind of like what The Wire did for Baltimore. You know what I mean?
Yeah. So it's like people are like, oh, this is where they shot this scene.
I didn't know nothing about Baltimore, but after watching The Wire, I was like intrigued by it. You know what I'm saying? The culture, the lingo, the accent, all of that, right? Mm-hmm. So I wanted to do the same thing for KC. And so after that, I was like, man, I got to be in a position of power, you know, to where we don't have to beg studios. We can create our own stuff, and then we have our own outlet too, you know, for it to live on. So that's what I'm on.
Damn, that's crazy. That's a lot, man.
Yeah, brother. I work, man. I work. I know I make it look easy, but you really, you know, one thing I learned about business, life, and especially in this entertainment game, you have to put in this much to get this much. Yep. And you have to do it consistently. You know what I'm saying?
Would you say that's the same thing with life?
Yeah, in some arenas, yes. In many, actually.
I was about to say in many, because you gotta put in like everything and then some. The small little aspects in life is what's gonna get you to, you know,
especially as a man. Especially as a man, you shoulder a lot. You know what I mean? Right. And you sacrifice a lot, especially when you got a family. So yes, but that's you know, that's being the boss. The boss is the last to get paid, the last to eat. You know what I'm saying?
You gotta make sure all of it right. Everybody
you gotta make sure, and I've spent most of my life doing that. You know, so yeah, that's what I'm on, brother. I'm on like ownership, and again, I graduated from No Limit University, so you know, a lot of that influence and understanding, you know, has been like, because P is like the big brother I never had, you know, because I'm an only child. So him and Boz, you know, they like my big brothers, and I'm close with Silk too. So it's like that's all. It's more family, you know, than music shit. You know, I ain't been an artist in years. You know what I'm saying? So
I think Pete did that though. You know what I'm saying? Like No Limit is a family, bro. Like
for sure. For sure. And, you know, family go through shit. Hell, we going through shit now in the media. You know what I mean? So family go through shit. It's no different than my Bone Thug brothers. You know, they go through shit. 3-6 Mafia. Every unit. You know what I'm saying?
Everybody's got shit. That's
G-Unit.
Everybody got shit.
Everybody is, you know, dysfunctional. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. But at the end of the day, everybody love with you. Like, we might bicker amongst each other. Bone might bicker amongst each other. But somebody on the outside say something, they'll jump you. You know what I mean? In the midst of them bickering. You know what I'm saying? So that's just like any other family. You know, real families like that.
Hey, man, that's what happened with that 3-6 Mafia and the Verses. Like,
I was there. I was there for that.
He's like, what you say?
Yeah, I was on stage for that.
I was like, oh.
Yeah, I was right there for that. Yeah, I was on stage. I went with Busy. That's the funny thing about it.
Oh, shoot.
I went with Busy. And because I've known Bone a long time. So Busy actually was the one I met first.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
And so he was on my Kansas City Chief album. And back then, Busy, he was creating a group called Mob Life. And it was consisting of me, him, if y'all remember Cuckoo Cow, my projects, that dude from Milwaukee or something like that. And then there was 3 other guys that were under Busy's labels, and it was called Mob Life. So I met B back then. This is like 99, you know. And so when they did Versus, I went with B. But when the fight happened, I was actually in VIP. I was up there kicking it. It was me, Afion, Crockett, Fat Joe. All of us was up there kicking it. And me and Afion, we were I still might have that video because he wasn't really a Bone fan. He's an East Coast guy. So he was on some Wu-Tang shit. Right. You know what I mean? And so we was laughing about it. But then when that went down, I said, God damn. So Busy's guy called me like, man, can you go down there and get Busy? So I went down there. So when you see me on stage, I'm like babysitting Busy. I'm kind of like protecting him from himself. So that's why you kind of see me shadowing him a little bit. You know what I mean?
That makes sense. Because that's what he said on the Verses. Yeah. He's like, yeah, man. He's like, it's really just on me, man. I was out wilding. I was an idiot. I should have been doing that shit.
Yeah, it was and it's so funny because I can tell you kind of the dynamic of how it happens. So 3 6 Mafia and Bone, I mean, they beefed back in the day.
Yes,
but
right.
Crazy Bone and DJ Paul are very close. They work together. Yeah, they're very
like
close.
An album coming out,
they got an album to cut. They work together all the time. And Bone and 3 6 Mafia had been on tour, but you got to remember, Busy was the odd man out. He wasn't touring,
right?
So he don't have that rapport quite like them. He does, but not like them.
Yeah.
So it was just a misunderstanding, and you know, Busy is busy. He's a little crazy, you know what I'm saying? And you know, it was all love afterwards. It was all love. It was.
Yeah, they put that behind, and now they're going on tour now.
Yeah, absolutely. That's what I'm saying. They always fucked with each other when they got past the beef. You know, same thing with like Do or Die. And Crucial Conflict.
I love Crucial Conflict.
Yeah, they all beef with Bone.
Johnny P and all.
Yeah, they all beef. All them dudes is like this now. Dog Pound used to talk shit on Bone. Dog Pound. Matter of fact, Dog Pound and Bone Thugs, they blended their names. Where, you know what I'm saying? I think they call it Bone Pound or Dog Thugs in Harmony or some shit. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, that's dope.
But yeah, you know, everybody got. And I remember when we was there, was it DJ Paul? He said, "Man, what the fuck?"
Yeah, he did.
Like, he was like, nigga, we 50 years old. We didn't do this shit in our 20s. Like, what the fuck?
Because like, Juicy J's the one who's kind of, he's like, you bitch.
Yeah,
like, what you say?
And so Paul was like, motherfucker, we didn't fight when we were supposed to. What the fuck are we fighting now for?
We're doing this now.
Yeah, we didn't fight when it was up.
Like, you know, I can't even walk to you right now. Chill out.
But nah, shout out to those guys, man. I love that they going on tour. Tech is on tour with them. You know what I'm saying? So I love that. So it's gonna be a dope ass tour. And like right now, it's funny because I have different relationships with all of them. I had them all on the podcast, with the exception of Wish. You know, but you know, me and Lay are pretty tight. You know, Lay is probably the one that I'm closest to. You know, me and Flesh is cool. Me and Cray are cool. Cray is actually my neighbor. He lives down the street from me. So, excuse me. So
I grew up on that.
I gotta ask you a question, man. And this is, I know you're probably gonna be like, man, I can't.
No, go ahead.
Well, who's your favorite Bone?
I would say probably. I like them all for different reasons, but across the board, I'd probably say Crazy Bone. Probably Crazy Bone. Yeah. And then probably Lay. But then that could be because I'm closer to Lay. You know what I'm saying?
Those are my two favorites.
Yeah.
I like a few things that Busy did, but overall, like, I think Crazy was the first.
The harmony is lazy, and it is kind of with.
No, Crazy.
Crazy
does too. Yeah.
Crazy is the harmony. Busy. You know, he's that falsetto, and Busy can sing. Yeah.
Right.
And that's the thing. Crazy and Busy can actually sing. You know what I mean? Busy really. Yeah. Busy can actually sing. You know what I mean? But yeah, you know, I think Crazy and then Lay. Yeah,
that's crazy. Okay, well, that's crazy. Yeah, Crazy Bone. All right, man. Shout out to Crazy.
Yeah, but Crazy is the creative. Like they all have different. You know, like Voltron. You know what I'm saying? Like Lazy is kind of like the general. You know what I'm saying? He's like the business guy. He's the visionary. Cray is the nigga that's gonna be in the studio all day, every day.
All night, all
He's
day.
the creative. You know, vibe. You know, Busy's gonna bring, you know, he's got that voice. He's got, you know what I'm saying? You know, he's And then Wish is just, listen, I'm gonna be honest. Wish is a street dude. You know what I mean? Wish could, if he could be somewhere chopping down a brick, he probably would. You know what I'm saying? So
everybody's got their preferences.
Yeah. Wish is just a street dude. Flesh, same thing. You know, Flesh is the, you can kind of say the muscle too, you know what I mean? But a lot of people like Flesh though. A lot of people, because I had was it Dewey the Don, and that clip went up too when we were debating. I asked him who was his favorite Bone. That clip went up. Flesh shared it on his page. So a lot of people like Flesh, you know. So
hey, man, it's all your selective.
It's all subjective, yeah.
It's all like, I mean, shoot, maybe tomorrow I'm like, man, I really like Lazy.
Yeah, you know, that's a fact.
But if we put our rings in and our powers combined,
right? Yeah. It's like that. What is that? Captain
Planet.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah. What ring you want to put on today?
Captain Planet. That's funny.
That's crazy, man. So, speaking about this, I want to know. I mean, because you know you're pretty much the OG of it all. But how did you get with Tech? and all them, man? Because I know you started it from the bottom.
Yeah.
Before they were like the snake and the bat, all that shit. So like, how did that all happen, man? How did that come to par?
So I've known Tech for years. You know, just through the streets and through the, you know, being a part of the rap community. So that relationship was always there. You know, we just know each other from just being around, you know. And like I was telling somebody else, man, I was kind of the baby of my class, I should say, in the 90s. You know, I was younger. Everybody else is, you know, 3-4 years older than me, you know, in terms of, and when I say this, kind of rappers. And I'm going to say, you know, like Diamond Shield, rest in peace, like Rich, some of the guys the bosses that was putting money up and doing the things. I was my own money guy, you know. Okay. So I was young doing this. I'm in my, you know, I'm 19, 20 years old, you know, kind of I'm fending for myself and I'm fronting my own shit, fronting my own racket. And these guys are, you know, 23, 24, 25 years old. You know what I'm saying? So I've been knowing Tech a long time. Shit, 30 years. Easy. No, more than that. Since probably the early 90s. And then with Trav, I met Tech and Trav right before I moved to LA. And if you remember on the show, I asked Trav, did he remember? He didn't until I told him. And I was like, remember we met at Gates and I paid for it. Because I remember they being super shocked that I paid for it. I can't remember. I mean, the only thing obviously we could have been meeting on is maybe, you know, me music coming to Strange. Yeah, right. Yeah. But at the time, you know, I was having it my way. I had just put out the Kansas City Chief. You know, I was making money and I was moving away. So, you know, I remember us just kind of having a conversation and we went our separate ways and they did what they did, you know. So me and Travis had been talking for a while about doing that piece. And I really, because, you know, we did the whole expose at Strange and all of that. Right. And, you know, shout out. I know y'all probably ain't going to say nothing. My cameraman dropped the ball. You know what I'm saying? If you watched it, you know. But, yeah, that shit went all the way left. And he knows it, too. You know what I'm saying? He knows it. He knows it, too. Yeah. He was like, man, because we had a kind of an inexperienced guy. Then one of the cameras went dead. And I think he just, you know, yeah, it was fucked up. But I put it out anyway because I had told everybody I was, you know. And when I tell you they was running us in the comments, I was like, oh, fuck. Well, we just got to take it on the chin. But anyway, I wanted to do that for, if you notice, I haven't done that with anyone else. I wanted to do it because I think because I moved away, it made me even more proud of what Strange has done. Now, again, you know, people always tend to want to go to the negative, you know, and you know, oh, but they could do this, oh, but they ain't doing this, oh, but they did this. It's like nothing is perfect. No label out there did it perfectly. Right. You know what I'm saying? Right. Yeah, you know, but let's talk about what has been done. You know, the good shit. And so how, you know, these motherfuckers got a whole compound out
Enterprise.
There. Man. You know what I mean?
Goddamn car wash.
I mean, come on. Like let's you can't hate on that. And especially like it's here. They could have did it anywhere else. They could have went to LA. They could have went anywhere. But they kept it right here. So for me, I celebrate that shit. You know what I mean? I'm not a hater, man. I'm not one to nitpick and, you know, try to find. Nah, man, salute them people. What they've done it big. I mean, one of the number one, you know, independent artists right here in the city. Yeah. And motherfuckers cry about, you know, oh, well, they don't do nothing for this, they don't do nothing for that. And I'm like, dude, make yourself viable, you know. And just because you don't make it, it don't mean that, you know what, motherfucker don't owe you nothing.
Right.
They gonna
you're not the one.
You're not the one for that. It doesn't mean that you can't be the one somewhere else.
Yeah, right.
It just means that, okay, they have a specific brand, specific audience. If you don't fit that, okay, cool, no problem. Right. It just didn't make sense. But it's not personal. You know, but these motherfuckers can't separate business from, you know, personal. So, you know.
That is true. That is true. That's crazy, man. That's crazy. Because, yeah, I mean, like I said, man, with the Travis or Gwen thing, you know, like, he's hard to get in contact with, bro.
I have his direct number.
Hey, man, well, hey.
I pick up the phone and call Trav. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Hey, bro. Hey. We were doing that the other night, man. Flip was like, hey, we got this person. I'm like, shit, okay.
Right, go for it.
FaceTime
he turns the phone to me, the video message, and I'm like, You want to pop on the couch? I don't know what to say. I'm looking for him. Like, give me direction.
He FaceTimed Steve Francis and
then Zero.
Oh, okay, yeah, I had Zero on my show too.
Yeah, Zero. I love Zero. Man.
Yeah, I had him on my show recently. Yeah. Steve Francis. Is that Loud record? Who's Steve Francis again?
See, this is what I'm saying about sports.
Yeah, we don't know sports.
He's a point guard for the Rockets.
I didn't know either.
Oh, okay.
I was like, I don't know who he is.
See, you see, I wasn't lying. You know what I mean?
But when he put the Zero, I was like, hey.
He's Loud. He's one of the greatest Rockets point guards of all time.
Okay,
but,
yeah.
Steven franchise,
Nah, I man, I never take for granted the access that I have and the relationships I've developed. You know what I mean? I know a lot of, powerful people, and, and again, I try to see, my whole thing is I try to motivate and teach too.
Thanks.
How I'm able to keep my wealthy friends and my influential friends is you just never ask them for nothing, and if I do reach to them for something, I'm not asking for anything. I'm presenting an opportunity for them, for us to do something together. It's a lot different.
Collaboration.
You see what I'm saying?
Have you ever linked up with Joe Black?
No, I don't know him. Yeah,
you might want to link up with him.
Yeah. I've heard the name.
He moves similarly.
Moves very similar to you in a sense, very man. Similar. Just off of vibes, whatever the case may be. Like, he's very. We had him on an episode, but he's a vocal coach and so like that, vocal producer, all that.
I've heard the name.
Ariana
But he's building a complex downtown.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
What I'm saying is, man, like what you're saying, you're like, hey, man, I did all this, and I'm trying to reach back. I'm trying to speak positivity, all that stuff. He's right now. He's doing teaching. You know what I'm saying? And he's teaching the communities and all this, like, and uplifting that.
I love that.
Like, he's very powerful, man, and you're like, man, like, you speak about like strange music and about the negativity and stuff like that, like the positivity, especially like he does.
Yeah.
He's like, man, we got to reach into the teachers, man, and like not the teachers. I'm kind of speaking.
Reach the students.
Yeah. He's like. Teach these students and like that. Give them the role models that they may not have in their hoods. And
yes, and you need a reference point. I did an Atlanta run. I shot I have a lot of good interviews I did in Atlanta, and one thing that I saw, especially speaking to the black community, is, man, I was kind of like, the experience that these people had in Atlanta. I say 99% of the people that sat in front of me when I was in Atlanta grew up with a mother and a father. And not only that, being in Atlanta, they were able to see, the infrastructure was kind of supported for black people. Like, it's a black mayor. The contracts that came through the city, they had to kind of have a certain amount of black people to get that.
So it takes a village type idea.
Well, not only that, they saw black lawyers. They saw black doctors. And I started feeling like, damn, almost like did I miss out on a black experience like that? Because here in Kansas City, I never saw that.
Right.
I don't have a reference point. I can't think of a black. I mean, I grew up around blue-collar workers, General Motors, Bendix, Ford, those were considered decent jobs. Few entrepreneurs that own beauty salons and different things like that, but a black doctor, I never knew. You see, so the importance of seeing that and having a reference point, because what I did see was Vell Bakardy on Yo MTV Raps. You see what I'm saying?
Right.
So that made it real. So I think that is important when, youngsters can actually see and communicate and know that, okay, damn, it's not just a fantasy. It's not just on TV. You know what I'm saying? Especially coming in their community, from their community. And that's why when I take my pictures, and people always say, man, you always throw up the foe, right? That's because for the youngsters that are from my area and from the city as a whole, when they see me, doing what I do with different celebrities and moving around, it's to signal to them, hey, listen, I'm right where you're from. You can do this. You know what I'm saying? I'm right here. I ain't forgot. So if I can do it like him, I love what he said. Like, man, I love what you do, but I'm trying to get there. I'm trying to come for that. That's what I want them to do. Use me as a starting point. Same thing I tell my kids. I expect you to take it further than me and your mother did. We took it further than our parents. It's supposed to be progressive each time. So so I love what he's doing. Shout out to that guy.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, if you ever do get a chance, I mean, he be in LA too and shit like that, but like, he's definitely, even with his podcast, I knew, or not podcast, his episode that we had with him.
Yeah.
Like, as he was saying it, I'm like, this dude is really just straight ahead of his time.
Yeah,
you know?
Yeah, no, that's super dope. And I try to temper myself because I know I don't want to come off super critical, you know, but you know, I want everybody to win and go. So in that, you have to kind of diagnose, you know, and you know where to change things. You know what I'm saying? Because it's like they say, you don't know it's a problem unless you acknowledge it. You know, so you have to acknowledge it to be able to address it and correct it. So there's a lot of talent in the city. There's no shortage of talent, but I think sometimes it's just application. You know, not having, like I say, those reference points. You know, you go to LA, our locals in LA are superstars. Right. They have a lot of reference points of how this shit works. You know, you got the labels there. You have all of that. Here, you know, sometimes, you know, you may have great artists, but they may not fully understand the importance of content. They don't understand the DSPs. Right. They don't understand the back ends. They don't understand, you know, how to do the publishing and different things like that. So that's dope that they, you know, that they're doing it. And I believe Street King and Rocky was kind of doing something like that too. You know, explaining to them how to get their DJ packs together and to make a clean version. You know what I'm saying? Yep.
Getting with coalition DJs and shit like that from like all that big following.
So that's what I always, you know, try to preach. But then the way that I teach and just my experience, it all starts with mentality. You know, the mentality has to be there for it to be pliable and to be able to take the new information. Because if you like
replicate it.
Yes, because like my basketball coach told me years ago, he was like, man, I'd rather have a player with half the talent that'll listen opposed to a player that has all the talent in the world and you can't tell him nothing. Right. You know, so, and that could be because of my, you know, my influence from P, because P is very much like that. You know, like No Limit was kind of like the military. You know, P was the colonel. So when he handed down, you know, a directive, you did that. You know what I'm saying? That's what, you know, you know, so there was structure. Right. So I think probably that influence is where I kind of have a, you know, very curt, straight to the point, you know, where some may take it as me being overcritical, but I mean it with love.
Right. You're critiquing and you're delegating.
Yeah. But I'm also critiquing and then giving information of the correction. So I'm not just saying, oh, you're wrong, you don't know what you're doing. No, maybe consider this. That's not going to work. What you should do is this, or what I would suggest is this, you know. Yeah. How do I know? Because I made the mistake, or I succeeded at it, you know, or I'm just around the information, you know. So, yeah,
that's crazy, man. So, man, let's address the elephant in the room.
Is there an elephant in the room? Okay,
no. The Holdin Court podcast, man. You know what I'm saying? Like that. I mean, obviously, I know you from the No Limit days, and you're rapping and you know accolades, entrepreneurship. Yeah. What made you get into what made you build the platform that you got with the pod?
Okay, so I'm gonna try to. I know I can get long-winded. So that journey actually kind of started a little bit, where the seed was planted, right? So me at Northeast, right? I'm barely trying to graduate my senior year. I get up, I have to read this paper that I wrote, and so I got on the standard uniform, blue khakis, Georgetown, you know, high top fade, Cortezes. I look like a straight gangbanger because you know my mind fucked up. So I get up to read this paper, trying to graduate, and my teacher was like, Mr. Connor, he was like, Richardson? He was like, you speak very eloquently. You should consider public speaking. He said, you really speak really well. So I felt disrespected. You know, I felt like he disrespected my gangster. Right. Yeah. You know what? Right. You stepping on my spot, I'm not smart like that. Like, you embarrass me in front of my friends. I'm a gangster. Like, you know, my mind fucked up. Right? So,
what the fuck you gave a real nice compliment. You took it
right. I took it like, what?
Out of pocket.
Like, man, Mr. Connor got shit fucked up. I should slap the fuck out this dude. You know what I mean?
So we don't play that shit here. The fuck you saying?
Right. Just I'm retarded. Man, I'm retarded, right? So now that's where he recognized something in me that I didn't recognize, you know, in myself, right? I had a skill set. So fast forward to 2017, Master P has a show called Doing the Most on Playboy Radio. So he calls me over there. And he's like, Court, just do this show. So I'm like, what we doing? He was like, man, we just interviewing celebrities. We're going to have people come on. We're going to turn up. It's like Howard Stern. So I do it, right? And so one of the executives, Tao, who I still work with, she pulled me to the side. I was like, Court, you kind of good at this. You know, her and Jay Tweezy, who was our radio guy, No Limit. And so she was like, would you like your own show over at Dash Radio? I was like, well, shit, we can try it. So she takes me over to Dash in Hollywood on Cahuenga. Crazy Bone had the Quick Fix over there. Snoop had a show, and Dame Dash had a show over there. So I do that for like 3 months, but I couldn't figure out how to monetize it. I didn't understand the business of it. And this is kind of before podcasting was a thing.
Right.
And so fast forward to the quarantine, you know, I done watched everything on fucking Netflix and Tubi and shit. So now I'm scrolling YouTube. So now I start watching, you know, Vlad, No Jumper, Gangster Chronicles, you know.
Drink Champs.
Yep. I'm watching all this shit. Yep. So I'm like, So me and producer Ken, my partner, excuse me, he owns the soundstage I was telling you about in Burbank. Okay. So me and him would get into these conversations. He would call me about something simple. We wound up talking an hour about 90s rap. You know, we started talking about, man, remember when Bo did this, man, Spice won, man. Remember this person. So I was like, man, we should do a podcast just talking about 90s shit, like our shit. You know, that's how it started. That's where the idea came from.
Okay.
So as I'm watching other podcasts, I see the guest model. Mm-hmm. So I'm like, I know motherfuckers more famous than them, you know, so you know what I mean? So when we start, I just go in my Rolodex. I hit P, I hit Silk, I hit Michael Jai White, I hit Jay Prince, I hit all these people like, hey man, that's what I'm doing, you know what I'm saying? You fucking with me? Everybody's like, yeah, sure. It's the quarantine, we ain't doing shit, you know, so okay. That's how it started. And prior to that, I had never uploaded a video to YouTube. I didn't understand social media. I wasn't social media savvy. I only got on social media in 2017 because I was contractually obligated by the Playboy Network to be a part of the show because they wanted me to post about it. That's the only reason why I even got on social media. I hate social media. I detest social media.
I hate it too, man.
You know what I mean? But I've learned how to use it, you know. Right. So that's where the podcast was birthed, you know, and you know, we grew quick, man. We grew really quick. And then probably 2 years into that, that's when I landed the deal with Revolt TV. And so, you know, funny story about that, and it's a message in this, but I was with P in Atlanta, and he was doing something at Revolt. And this is before I got with Revolt. Mm-hmm. And I remember thinking, so shout out to Detavio Samuels. He's the head guy over there. I saw him. I didn't know who he was, but I saw people kind of, you know, clamoring to him. Right. And so I was like, damn. So I asked my partner, who is that? He was like, oh, that's the dude that run everything. At that moment, I was like, okay, this is not the time or the place. You know what I'm saying? Right. Like, you know, if it's supposed to happen, it will. You know, you got to understand time and place. And so, shit, I say probably maybe 8 or 9 months later, he just hit me on IG. Like, bro, I like what you do. Damn. You know, what are you doing? Who are you doing this with? You know what I mean?
There it is.
You attract what you think about. You put the work in. You know what I'm saying? So I did the deal with Revolt. And it's been up since then. We've been growing. You know, I've had quite a few viral moments, even this year. You know, we were viral with Tank. We were viral with BB Drake, Miss Pearly. We were viral with Bentley Kyle Evans. We viral now with Damian Hall. We got the little viral moment, the emotional moment with me and Baby Jade.
Okay, yeah.
From Big Facts, which they're also on Revolt. So man, you know what's good, man, is I love how I'm getting the respect is getting there. You know, Joe Budden, they just posted my content, was talking about and gave me credit. Breakfast Club have talked about me a few times. And it is probably other platforms I don't even know. These are just the ones that I get wind of. MSNBC, like I didn't even know that they use my stuff. Oh, yeah. Damn. They put my Tank clip on and gave me full credit on MSNBC. I only knew that because somebody sent it to me. So that's what I'm saying. There's probably plenty of other things. But Shannon Sharp, he didn't give me my credit. But, you know, so to be able to get thrusted into the national conversation, you know what I mean, where the blogs are picking up on my shit. Some of these big blogs, I done had to tell them, look, it's cool. Because some of them have the courtesy to say, hey, do you mind if we post this? And I tell them, look, yes, just go ahead. Just make sure you add me. Whatever you want, take it, you know. Because I always stay in a perpetual discovery mode, you know, because I'm trying to grow this thing, you know.
Right, for sure.
So, man, so it's been going really well, man. And what's gratifying for me is when I travel and people recognize me and they always say, man, I love how you represent the culture, or they go to an episode that they really liked or something that helped them or a moment that helped them. Even when other celebrities and influential people, when they, I just got a message from Teddy Riley the other day, and, he hit me like, brother, he was like, man, I love what you do. When I come to LA, I'm coming to the show. You know what I mean?
Damn.
And you would be shocked at, man, listen, sometimes I'm shocked, at the people that are in my stories. And then I've had celebrities, especially now where I've gotten on the kind of the media list to where when, they're going on media runs, I'm one of the top ones that their people will reach out to. Yeah. So
that's dope, then. That's great.
Just shows that the reach and the influence is there. So I'm enjoying it, man. I'm enjoying this meet. And the other thing about it that I love is when my childhood friends that I don't talk to often, and I don't know they're watching. You know what I mean? And when we do talk, they say, bro, I've been knowing you a long time, but that's where you belong. That's you right there, which is interesting because I'm really an introvert posing as an extrovert. You know what I'm saying?
Damn.
Yeah.
Like you said, you lived in uncomfortability.
Yeah, for sure.
That's your superpower.
For sure. I've never been like, I'm an only child. I've always been kind of reserved, and to some degree, people would say I was quiet, depending on just how I knew them. But yeah, you know what I mean. So
makes sense, though.
Yeah, so to be able to thrive at something like this, but then I would do speaking engagements with P. So I've
you learn how to do it.
And everything up to this point, excuse me, has prepared me. So
that's crazy, man. So man, as we start to wrap this up, man, I got 2 more questions I do want to ask you. With the Holdin Court podcast and stuff like that, man, I want to get like. You had Matt Barnes. I kind of got this a little bit from him, but you're Mount Rushmore. But I want to do the Mount Rushmore of your
job. Oh no, I'm good. I'm throwing dry. I know I'm giving you the look, kind of like, what the fuck are you gonna say? No, I'm struggling with it. We've seen that look before,
which is why he's getting nervous.
I was like, whoa.
People say something like, "Well, I wasn't ready for that," or
Nah, that wasn't for you.
So so I want to give me your top 4 interviews that you've done.
Okay. Let me see. I was lucky, man. I got a lot of my bucket list out the gate. I would have to, both of my Ice-T interviews. That one was, and the first one would be my best performing one ever, right?
Okay.
Both my Ice-T interviews. Baby Jade, just because of the emotional component. He said 4. Man, that's hard. I've done a lot. But I would have to say probably having my Bone Brothers on too. So Lazy Bone and Crazy Bone was a good one too. Okay. So they share that spot. Yeah.
They share that spot? That's dope, man.
Yeah.
That's dope.
And it was cool having Tiffany Haddish on. And that was cool.
That'd have been dope. That'd have been that's
real
dope.
Cool.
Yeah. So yeah, I would have to say those.
Okay. So there you go. Okay. So last one, man.
Mm-hmm.
As you see, you came up on the pod and whatnot. Who would you like to get on the pod next, man? And if so, you got to throw this assist.
You say, what's the last part?
You got to throw the assist.
Okay.
Just a little caveat.
Okay. Magic Johnson. Barack Obama. Mike Tyson.
Okay.
And what's the black billionaire dude? Richard Smith? That's his name? I think that's his name, Richard Smith. Yeah, those.
Okay. Wonderful.
What?
I've been talking to them all.
What?
I mean, if you can, yeah.
What?
I mean,
shit. Was that? Oh, I was doing that shit that I've been doing my whole life. No, those are realities. Those are realities. So Mike Tyson actually was.
I would love to talk to Tyson, man.
He actually was supposed to come on my show.
I'd love to talk to Magic Johnson too.
Me too. Yeah. So Mike was supposed to come on my show once. It was a scheduling conflict.
Right.
Richard Smith. That's his name. The black billionaire guy. Same thing with him. It was a scheduling conflict. I'll be honest with you. I tell you guys, man. Excuse me. It's all about presentation, right? Never be afraid to ask. You'll be surprised at who the fuck will show up. I ask anybody. I don't give a fuck.
I do the same thing.
Because the only thing you can do is say no. That's fine. Right. I've been told no a lot, you know. So, yeah. If I wake up, I done seen motherfuckers on TV. I ain't bullshitting. Y'all be watching TV like, oh shit. I was watching what's the show Paradise.
Right.
I was watching Paradise. I was like, oh shit. Let me see if I can get Sterling on the phone. You know what I mean? On the show. So I start following him. And I find out he had a fucking podcast. I start following it. So I goddamn messaged him and said, hey, I love what you do. I'm watching Paradise. Bro, what's up on coming to the show? You know what I mean? He hit me. He said, man, I checked you out. I love what you're doing. You know, we'll figure it out. That's what I do. I'll get a random thought of, oh, I'll make a note to myself. Yeah, that's who I want on the show. Or I see something. Yeah, I'm going to get him on the show.
I do the same thing.
I just look at it like, okay, you know.
He does that. He comes to me with like, hey, bro, I just heard this dude. We're going to get him.
Yeah.
Like, okay. Yeah. Shoot it. Yeah. Shoot it. Let's
go. Man, that's it. All you do. And sometimes no isn't no. It's not now. You know what I'm saying?
Right, just not the right time.
Because I've had people, especially old school people, they tend not to want to talk and do things until they have something going on. You know what I mean? Something to promote. So, yeah. Listen, it ain't no, even Barack. I'm just timing. I didn't put my bid in to his team. Yeah, they know. My shit then came across their desk. You know what I mean? They know. Fucking right. You know what I mean? Fucking right. So those are my top ones right now. You know, musically, I would love to have DJ Quick, Scarface.
You're talking about your podcast. We were talking about this
podcast. My podcast. So I'm sorry. What
on What They Want podcast. That's what I was saying.
What's the question?
Who would you like to see on the pod next?
Who I'd like to see on your podcast?
Yes.
Okay.
I still like the way you answered it.
Yeah, me too. Great. I mean, that's a two caveat.
That was great.
Shit.
That was great.
I'm with it.
Man, listen.
That was wonderful.
I mean,
because we never heard it flip like that before.
All the people I name, you know what I'm saying? Get Jay-Z on this bitch.
Do you know all them and you can get them?
No, I don't know Jay-Z.
No, that's what I'm saying. Like somebody that's in your
Oh, you're saying someone
your Rolodex. Who's in your Rolodex? Hey, they'd be cool down here. Like I think they vibe with these dudes.
I got you. Okay, I follow. My bad, man. It's
you straight.
I'm tired. Shit.
It's all good.
I'm trying to think. Well, that's the only difficult part is that you're here. You know what I mean? So, you know, that would be somebody like a Tech or a Trav or, you know what I'm saying? Something like that. Who else? I know a little bit of everybody here though, you know. LA would be difficult. That's the only thing about doing it here. You know, you would have you got to get mobile.
Yeah,
you
Facts,
know.
Yeah. But I mean, dude, if we can get Tech in here or Travis or Gwen, you know, like that's a thing too.
Tech is on a media run right now too.
I know. That's what. Yeah, I know. I really
have you reached out to him?
Nope.
Okay.
But it's because I'm trying to figure out how to trying to figure that out. Like, I'm not gonna lie, I bought his album. I bought your album, like, you know, and it says,
which one, the new one?
Yeah, 5816 Forest, because one of my homies produced the whole damn album.
Yeah, Jay Peasy.
Yeah, my boy. Yeah.
And then we talked to Scarecrow, and Scarecrow was like, "Oh yeah, I'll try to hook that up."
Yeah.
So I mean, we got his people, but
it just didn't marinate yet.
I'm gonna be honest.
That's a not yet. Like,
that's easy. You know, it's just rather not. Now, I will say, Tech has a super busy schedule.
He always is. I know that too.
He came to LA and didn't come to my show. You know, he did Bootleg Kev, he did everybody, but didn't have time to come to my shit, which is okay. He's been, he's done my show already, and I know that's anytime. I know he'll make accommodations. Sure. You know what I'm saying? But
for sure.
But yeah, Tech, he, you know, that would probably be the best. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Now Trav, I don't know that Trav, probably since he did my show, you know, and I don't want to speak for him, but just kind of what I could guess with Trav, he's kind of done his one too. You know what I mean? For now.
Sure, yeah.
For now, until something dope, you know, happens. Yeah.
I mean, he only does like an interview like every 10 to 12 years.
That's what I'm saying.
For sure.
That's what I'm saying.
So props on that anyway.
So
for sure.
yeah. But yeah, I would say Tech, man. I'd love to see Tech on here.
That's what I'm saying. Cool. Like, as long as we can, because that's what I'm saying, man. I know he's on this press run, and I know he dropped his album, whatnot, you know. And it's like, bro, I don't want to come at you like, because I'll shoot the shot. I don't care if it goes in. But the thing is, you know, I'm like, dude, I was like, I just don't want to be a nuisance. It's like, hey, bro, hey, what's going on with you? Hey, what's going on with you?
No, it's okay. Be a nuisance. You know, that's how I got to P. You know what I'm saying? Straight up. I was a nuisance. I sent P probably about 10 tapes over the course of a few months, and I used to purposely fill his voicemail.
I just need to figure out how to get in contact with him, you know what I'm saying? Because he
purposely fill his voicemail till it was full?
Yep. So nobody else could leave a message.
That's genius.
Yeah. That's exactly what I used to do.
Genius.
And it worked.
How many messages can you send through an email? Or
I think it's like 29.
Through IG, man, because IG you got to follow people now.
I thought you were talking about voicemail.
Yeah.
No.
Back then.
Yeah, I could put a bid in for you. I mean, I can't make no promises, but I can put a bid in.
Hey, man, that's all it is.
That's all you can do is ask.
That's all it is, man. Shoot the shot, and if it makes it cool, if not, hey, whatever.
Yeah, and Tech is very giving, you know, especially to the locals. You know what I'm saying? Tech is very giving.
I mean, dude, he's on my, like, we did an episode of my origin or whatever the case may be, and he's on my Mount Rushmore of rapping, period. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, Tech
artists,
is, man, listen, Tech is one of one. You know, he's very, and that's what I love, man. I don't care about all the hate, man. People all over the world know about Tech, you know what I mean? And he's super talented, you know. He's one of one, you know. I
mean, it's not even that, man. Like, his accolades of, like, who he's brought. There's no Kendrick Lamar without Tech.
Right.
There's no J-Rock. You know, like, TDE took a lot of the blueprint from. We can go on and on.
I'm going to be
like,
very honest
I'm
with
knowledgeable with the shit.
You know the most impressive move that he made for me that I was like, oh, fuck.
What was that?
When this motherfucker did a song with The Rock. I ain't going to lie. Yeah. I was just the fact that he was able to get The Rock. Rock is a fucking superstar.
But Rock is a super fan of Tech 9. So
let that sink in. You know what I mean?
Right,
The Rock got what? I don't know. What is it? 500 million followers? Something ridiculous, right?
Yeah, he's like the second biggest on Instagram.
He's a fucking superstar. It's The Rock, you know. And, I mean, he didn't have no business rapping, but still, you know what I'm saying? The fact that he got him, I was like, oh, fuck. Like, that, I don't give a fuck. You know, that's impressive. And I understand, you know, the motherfucker, oh, shit, that ain't street. It ain't, you know, that ain't what we do. Fuck all that. Like, that's
cool
that's
that
a whole
right.
Yeah,
bro. Like Terry Mama or Terry Mama. I'm butchering the name. The tequila that he had, he was sponsoring that whatever through it. You know, and he still once again Terry Mama. There you go. Not Terry Mama. My fault. But he did that, and then he put Joey Cool and he put King ISO. He put that whole origin on there, and he's like, all right, you're gonna listen to Rock at the end, but you're definitely gonna hear these. Yeah, that was a boss move when you're talking the business of music. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know, I understood it, and I understood the branding, the look of it, and probably the opportunities at the time that opened up.
Yeah, the weight of that.
The weight
of that monumental movement. Yeah,
fucking right.
And that's what I'm saying, bro. As an independent powerhouse and shit like that he is. You know, as Strange Music is. You know, he's done. I mean, he just did got Wayne to do a fucking hook on his fucking song, and that song is a banger.
Yeah,
you know?
That's a fact. And the fact that Wayne respects him, you know, to the utmost, you know, and would show up for him. You know, people, I don't know, man. Like, I'm just glad that I get it, you know, and I understand the significance of it and the brevity of it, you know. So.
Well, shoot, man. All right. Well, there y'all have it, man. What They Want podcast, man, with Holdin Court podcast, Big Court. That's another one, man.
Hey, man, I appreciate you guys for having me, man.
Appreciate you coming
I love the energy. I love the setup, man. These guys is dope. No bullshit. You know what I mean? Homie behind the camera, he own it. You know what I'm saying? He own it. He checking these motherfuckers. He making sure everything is right. He doing the BTS, like, you know what I'm saying? The energy is 100. I dig y'all shit.
We appreciate you, man.
Appreciate your time, regardless, man, of coming out and doing what you got to do, because you didn't have to do this, so it's a blessing.
I did have to do it, man. Y'all from the town.
Oh, that too. Yeah.
So, you know, I'm tethered. I you know, I have to. There's no me without y'all. You know what I'm saying? So.
Facts, man.
Yeah.
All right, man. Well, there y'all have it, man. I'm Snow, dannySLAB, Big Court, man. Until next time.
Salute.
I'ma give them what they want. She gon' give me what I want. I'ma give them what they want.